back, guys. Apparently my battery was done, and I was at the point where I was flipping these panels back in, or at least I hope I was when the battery gave out. And there's a little tab on here that you kind of have to get in before you do anything, and as you can see, this tab doesn't want to cooperate with me right now. What is going on? Always seems to happen this way. What happened? Ah, there we go. Just a little bit tight between the two leg joints here. And then finally, after you have everything set, you're going to rotate these little wing pieces and plug them in. And like I said, he's a little bit of a parts former, so you're going to take these engines and you can put them on really whichever way you prefer. Whoops. I like to do them with the canister backwards like this, and just slide it in the little notches here on the wings. And to me that looks like you've got an intake in an engine, so that's why I like doing it that way. You can do it whichever way you want, and plus that angle kind of follows the angle of the wings, so you get something that looks like this. And unlike the Explorer, they actually put decals or tampos on to make it look like it has a window, so it's actually more of a conventional shuttle. And to me, this works a lot better like this. I like the white and the black color scheme looking like a conventional shuttle. There's nothing wrong with Explorer being an unmanned one. I just really like the aesthetic of this one better. And we will go to Warcry. Flip his head on in. That's going to be your first step on these Fansproject guys. Pull out this part, because I always forget to do that, and you can't transform them right. And if you have your chest keeps popping down, your head's not in the right position, because there's actually a tab there that it plugs into. Now, take his arms here and close that together. This black gap is something I've done myself, so yours won't have that. Take everything here and fit it together like that. There is a tab in here, right there. You can see the hole, perhaps, right there. Light's not picking it up very well. Let's try moving it. There you go, you can kind of see it there. There's a hole, and on his arm he's got a little tab that plugs into it. So you know you have it in the right position when it lines up like that. Put this together. This looks like it's out of focus. It's so hard to see on this little screen. It almost looks like it's a little out of focus. But we'll carry on, and hopefully it won't be. Actually, let's pause, and I'll restart the video. Okay, that looks a little bit more clear. And now you can see the tab better and what I'm talking about. So take it, bring it on up. You see his arm has a little tab there, and you're just gonna fit it in that little slot that I improperly called a tab. And then from there you can bring the back of the Hummer down, pegging these two tabs into those slots there, and that's done. It's also worth noting he still has his combiner port here. It's just covered with this thing, so that's not all the way down. If you want it up, you can put it all the way up, but then you can't fit this thing on. You could cut away the pieces of this, I suppose, but they're mostly what's kind of holding it all together, the friction of that, so you really can't do too much with it. Just sits like that. And I also added the paint apps to the back here. It was just molded that way, it wasn't red and white. Take the heel spurs, flip them on in, and we can squeeze these legs together so that the tab on the one leg goes in the slot of the other. And as you can see, maybe there's a little bit of a plastic stress on mine, and I think this has the similar type problem just because of the color as Wreck-Gar. You can see it around the ball joint in the top too, that this color plastic shows the when it deforms a little, which it naturally has to do to transform and peg into positions and stuff. So after you have this all together, flip everything around, and you got to get it past. This is the part I like the least, I think. You got to get it past these little tabs on the bottom down here, and in doing so you'll unpeg everything and get it past so it looks like that, and then just kind of, well, looks like mine came unpegged again, because they did. Peg it back together. Then you should be able to tab everything in together solidly at the top. And I released the back in the process. And then finally, take the front ends, put them down, and push them in. So you'll see that I changed the front end of mine and gave him Ratchet from Dark of the Moon, a cut Ratchet, I should add, because Ratchet would have stuff all that was going over there. But I gave him that grill just to cover up the mistakes and stuff in the back, and it's actually pretty effective. And then I added this black paint job because it didn't look right just having the grill painted black, so I just added a little bit there, and then did the side things. I may go back and do these vents, I haven't decided yet. But there you have him back in his alt mode. If you look at Swindle, he's got this little piece right here, but he doesn't have anything there. It's clearly separate from the back of the truck, and I assume that's because they had initially planned to do the Warcry, because that's different on here, this one little tiny piece. To finish him up, you're going to take his accessories here and just kind of peg them in on the back of the truck here. It's worth noting that both these pipes are identical, so it doesn't matter which one you put under his arm and which one you put on the cannon. Now, flip this down. What you're going to do here is flip the gun the other way, and then the gun is going to fit on the top of the car here like this, and it doesn't really have the ability to turn very much. Now this is the part that I was confused about. I couldn't figure out how exactly it was supposed to work, and it's actually really simple, and it's gonna fall off a lot. If you look here at this, the handle grip, it's got a slot here, and you've got a corresponding little teeny tiny tab there. What you're actually gonna do is position this in place, which is going to be sitting in front of this little box on the top. Whoops. Peg that in again. And you're just going to slide it on top and onto the peg. So it's just going to look like that. And you just push it down. It's not a super secure lock, but if you've done it right, then the gun should stick through it. Like that. And that's it. That is Warcry in his alt mode, and it's a nice Hummer. To me, it's even better without the front tabs, but by doing this, he will never ever be able to combine with the Bruticus combiner if you had the parts. But I'm okay with that, so it doesn't bother me. And frankly, I like all these added accessories on the back of the Hummer. It makes them look a little more ruggedized, more of an actual military Hummer than Munitioner was with just this cannon. And of course, again, Flameblast actually being a proper space shuttle is great. So that's really about it for these two guys. I've kept you here long enough if you watched the whole thing. So this has been T2RX6, and this is Warcry and Flameblast, and their redecos Munitioner and Explorer. I'll see you guys all next time.